What if we could stay connected to our more primitive past? The way we move our body goes beyond the physical layer. We can move in ways that honor what's in our DNA, get us back connected with nature and our animal side. These are 5 abilities that you may have lost and we need to get back. 1. Barefoot running. Covering ground at a steady pace is possibly our most useful ability as humans. And this is thought to be one of the abilities that pushed human evolution forward. We could run down prey because we have better endurance than most animals. We're not the fastest, but we can outlast. But modern day running has brought with it a lot of negatives. Running has the most injuries out of any form of exercise. Loss of mobility and overuse injuries run ragged amongst runners for one reason. It becomes addicting. You want to run longer, faster, more miles. We stuff ourselves into big padded shoes, run through small pains, and ignore warning signs from the body. I've worked with many runners who can't sit into a deep squat or touch their toes in their 30s.
The simple fix is barefoot running on grass while breathing through your nose. Barefoot acts as the ego check. You can't push yourself past what these guys can handle. It also makes our running stride more efficient. We land on the mid part of the foot and we push through the ball and the toes. These smaller joints and muscles of the feet and lower leg get more developed and we become more resilient to injury. Now, keeping your mouth shut acts as another ego check. We can only go as fast as our nasal breathing allows us to. And nasal breathing brings tons of other benefits like better sleep. Our skin is exposed to the earth, which some believe can lower inflammation through neutralizing ions in our body. So try starting out with just 5 to 10 minutes of barefoot running on grass or another soft surface.
And the cool thing is, as your legs become more resilient, you'll be able to explore movement with more impact. Your body will be ready for things like sprinting and jumping.
Don't become a runner. Be someone who is strong in many capabilities, and barefoot running is one of them.
2. Low gait strength. Chairs have been around since the beginning of time, but they weren't popularized in people's homes until the last 200 years, which is pretty recent. Before, we spent much more time sitting on the ground, squatting, kneeling, and bending over. Cooks would often sit on the floor to prepare food. Fishermen squat down to process the fish. Heck, even cowboys, who probably aren't known for their mobility, would kneel to make a fire. Nowadays, we find ourselves sitting for work, for leisure, and for travel.
I'm not a no-chair guy. I think it's inevitable that these will be in our lives, but there's some simple ways that we can counteract the effects of sitting. We like to use different variations of seated positions, crawls, and duck walks in our training, but I find there's one movement that helps you take back your whole range of abilities at once. It's called the fisherman squat to deep squat.
We start seated, then move to a half kneeling position, sometimes called the fisherman squat. From here, use some hand assistance. Shift weight into the supporting foot and raise your other knee up into a deep squat. Heels flat if you can for ankle mobility, but if not, toes are fine. Now reverse the motion. Work to being able to do this with no hands. This is an incredibly functional form of strength. Sitting and rising from the floor has been shown to be closely linked to longevity. We can train this to improve our quality of life as we age.
Yeah, let's go.
So we're making this video about being able to go down to the ground, and then we see this guy doing these amazing, squats with a soccer ball. So props, brother. This is Andres.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you guys.
3. Crawling and touching the ground. Before we were walking upright, we were crawling on all fours. In our evolutionary development, but also in our own development from infant to kid. So why still do it? Touching the ground often restores natural wrist and shoulder strength. Think about it. There's no other way to give your body the same stimulus. This ability needs to be taken back for full mobility of the wrist and stability of the shoulders.
We know that doing some training barefoot can help restore small joints and muscles in the feet. Likewise, we can improve proprioception and stability of the hands and forearms if we touch the ground. And the locomotive component of crawling helps connect the 2 brain hemispheres. The brain-body connection is literally enhanced.
Begin with simply crawling, 10 steps forward and then 10 back. When you're good at that, implement sideways crawling. You can also explore just being in a quadruped position in a contained space, so not moving too far forward or backwards, but shifting weight from side to side and finding interesting movements. A lot of people find this way of moving very fun because it taps into something youthful and something very natural. And there's a whole world of animal-style crawls that can be discovered. You'll be amazed at how good your body and mind feels simply by getting your hands on the ground a few times per week. 4, lift and carry something heavy. Most humans can pick up our own body weight easily if we train it. And double our body weight only takes a couple of years for most people. This is actually incredible when you think of our other abilities like endurance and climbing. Most animals amongst us are very good at one thing, maybe two, but humans are incredibly well-rounded. And there's one tool that I've become very fond of for lifting and becoming stronger. A strong body is resilient. In fact, some think it was our ability to carry objects over long distances that pushed evolution. Though in modern day bodybuilding and powerlifting, sometimes strength is pushed to the extreme. So how strong is strong enough? The simple answer is become as strong as you can until it starts to impede on other abilities. Lift your body weight, maybe even twice your body weight. But if you get so strong that now you can't run a couple miles down a trail or hang off a bar for 60 seconds, that is probably specializing too much in strength.
The sandbag. The sandbag mimics nature more than modern training tools. Unlike a dumbbell or barbell, it's irregular and awkward. You need to develop grip and forearm strength to handle it, and it requires full recruitment of all muscles to lift it, carry it, and squat it. It's also super inexpensive. All you need is a bag, then you fill it up with sand or dirt from the earth. The best way to get started is just to simply lift it off the ground. You'll find this to be a deadlift style of movement with a row component for your back and arms.
Then do some carries. The bear hug carry is humbling on the forearms and forces you to breathe deep into the back of your rib cage. I also love the lift to the shoulder and then the carry on the shoulder. This gives some off-axis loading, which would be found more in natural environments. Of course, the barbell is a great tool and one that we use often, but you don't have to choose one or the other. You can explore both. 5, brachiating, climbing, and swinging. There's only a few primates that can actually brachiate, meaning swing from one arm to the next. Gibbons, orangutans, and chimpanzees are amongst them, and humans are one of them as well. Ironically, most monkeys can't, even though we use the term monkey bars. As adults, we want to turn everything into an exercise, so we do pull-ups, chin-ups, and even muscle-ups. But there are other natural and functional ways to develop your shoulders. Whether you're bouldering up a rock or climbing a tree, it's one of the best activities to get really strong in the hanging muscles without actually doing strength training. Climbing is much like crawling vertically. It involves counter pressures from the legs and arms, and it's all connected by the torso. And the beautiful part of climbing is problem solving. It takes technique, exploration, and trial and error. This is an amazing stimulus for our brains that will most likely keep us sharper as we age.
Well, brachiation is different because we don't use our feet. This takes complete confidence in the shoulders and can make them incredibly strong. Take it slow. Always work through the steps of first dead hang, then one arm dead hangs, then alternating hangs, then slowly exploring 1 to 2 cycles of monkey bars until you can swing freely. And you can take your ape antics even further with some 2-arm swinging. This unique ability of the shoulders is one that we mostly just see in apes. It's the ability to produce and absorb force in a hanging position. Obviously, this will result in some pretty resilient shoulders.
It almost goes without saying that all of these abilities, especially climbing and swinging, need to be built up to very gradually. The longer it's been since you've explored these abilities, the more time you should take building a foundation slowly. What's interesting is everything on this list involves some type of locomotion, the ability to move from A to B. This is what we do as members of the animal kingdom. We move to play, to hunt, and to survive. Modern training tools are incredibly good at making our bodies strong, developing muscles, and improving cardiovascular health. But think of how many exercises you do each week where you sit or stand still. This isn't about rejecting everything modern and returning to the cave, but it's a call to honor the natural instincts inside of us that have been dulled from technology and the ease of living. I put together a starter pack for you guys that want to implement some of this primal training into your lives. This is very beginner friendly, but can also scale to you guys that have a bit of experience. First link in description. Is there any movement that you would add to the list? Comment below, as always.